Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant News, and with the North American Stage 2 main event beginning later on today, there's been plenty of news the last 24 hours. Jampii potentially going back to Counter-Strike from Team Liquid Valorant as he is right now, and also TenZ Explains by Sentinels will be including FaZe in their agent pool for these upcoming matches. Very much enjoy your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Really upset the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. Lots of great support the last few days as per usual. Firstly, this from TSM. Finally, of course, they're back in the main event, as they at least are calling it right now. And well, they've qualified once again. They're starting up their own Valorant channel, effectively for content. Thought this kind of stuff was really cool. Just love to see things along these lines. This firstly from OpTic, as Jovi, of course, it was formerly an analyst for 100 Thieves and head coach for them. Pretty much what 100 Thieves did is when they brought in Sean Gez as their coach and DDK as their general manager, they decided, okay, look, we're effectively going to clear house with the entire team. No one is safe, and Jovi was gone and he was out of there effectively. Now, OpTic have actually signed him as an assistant coach, at least according to this article. Turns out his actual title is slightly different, but of course, yeah, he came in pretty much last minute to the OpTic team that went on to win Masters alongside Chet Singh, the head coach, and well, seemingly did a pretty good thing. Of course, the team, the players, the people actually clicking heads in the server, those are the ones that do most of the damage, but the coaching stuff outside of the game, preparing them for the matches, looking up their their opposition VOD, stuff like this is obviously very valuable, and they believed obviously that Jovi did a great job. They confirmed him to be joining the roster yesterday, or joining as officially the analyst for the OpTic guys. So pretty cool stuff. There was a video that came up, we kind of teased yesterday from the Valorant side, that they were kind of talking to Marved and some other players from different teams, following their stories over the coming weeks. And he said in that video that look, they're not here to settle down, they're not here to settle to be world champions of one event. They want to be they want to cement their legacy as the best team effectively in Valorant history, and they're not going to do that by sitting back and relaxing. And of course, their journey will begin, I suppose, later on this weekend in the main event once again, if they want to do the same again for Masters 2 and Champions. But it's far harder to stay on top than it is to get there in the first place, so we shall see if they can get close to doing something exactly like that. Now let's dive into this thing, because a big piece of news actually is that Jampii, right now, of course, playing for the Team Liquid Valorant squad that was so good for quite some time, kind of the last few months hasn't quite been where they might expect it to be, but he apparently is going to go back to Counter-Strike. This has been rumored the last few days. Of course, I'm pretty sure the rumor had it well, not really the rumor, but the discussion has been that Jampii's eventually had a VAC ban from CSGO. I think it's because he was very young, 14 or something. He lent his accounts to his friends. His friend downloaded hacks or something. That account got banned, and therefore nothing really that Jampii could do about it. But he's been VAC banned and effectively can't play in Valve tournaments. Now I believe they're kind of rolling back these restrictions on some of these players, such that the Jampii would actually be able to play Counter-Strike again at a top level. And clearly that's probably the game he wants to play in. Now whether he goes back anytime soon, because a clip came out where he basically says, yes, I definitely do plan to return to Counter-Strike at some point, but he hasn't really said. There was some rumor that he said that he was going to return around October, which I guess would be after this season is over, after Masters 2, after Champions, then he might well be returning. But I don't really find a clip of that, and I think other people have kind of contradicted whether he actually said that he was going to return in October. So it is a little bit strange to know exactly what was going on. There was a clip that came out. I won't show it on screen because there's music in the background, but of course it'll be linked down below if you guys want to check it out. But effectively in this one, he just says, yeah, he plans to return. Now, apparently there was another clip where he said he was going to return, in October. But it's always interesting when players do this in a way, just because, when you're playing for the Valorant team and your teammates know that you're going to be gone soon, I'm not sure it always creates the greatest winning dynamic, right? If they kind of know that you're out the door relatively soon, does that really give your teammates maximum faith in you? Are you actually going to put in 100% effort? So all these kind of additional questions that come as a result of this. Now, people have contradicted whether this is actually the case, because George Geller says there's been a lot of speculation and false info circulating. I will clarify, Jampii is not going to leave Valorant anytime soon. Now, anytime soon, what does this mean, right? Is it, months? Is it years or whatever? Yes, he may return to CSGO. I'm pretty sure I did see a clip where he literally just said, even in that one, I'm pretty sure he just said, I'm 100% returning at some point.
Can I play chat in CS? Will I go back to CS at one point? 100% yeah.
But apparently the statement that he's going back in October is not true. So maybe he's still going to be here for another year or two, but if he wants to play CS and he wants to return, then if he can return, then why would he not at the soonest possible available opportunity, which might be after Champions this year. So look, we'll see on that one. Interesting story, intriguing perspective on it. Of course, not ideal for Liquid if this is the case, because Jampii, I think, has been one of their best and most consistent players over the last several months, even though they haven't got the results as a team that they really have been looking for. Now let's dive into some of the meta discussions really over these coming days, because, as Westjet kind of says, talking about the nerfs, the Jet, the Sova, the Chamber nerfs, the fact that they were kind of hoping, at least, well, some people have said, maybe instead of nerfing those agents, just buff the other ones, buff your Killjoys, your Phoenixes, other agents. They've just made everything kind of mid and boring. Now, with the Sova nerfs coming through and FADE coming into the game now, there has been some talk, is FADE going to actually come into the meta here? And is she going to get used in place of Sova? Because with some good, like, combinations with your teammates, FADE can be very strong. She has the kind of war hack abilities that she's got going on as well, but also some rather strong abilities in addition. And even as Ethan says here a couple of weeks ago, that Breach, Sova, Skye, you like basically just put them together and you get FADE. Effectively like a buffed version of all these guys. You buff you put all these guys with the best abilities of Breach, Sova, and Skye together, and you get FADE. So like she does seem rather strong. There are some things that maybe make her weaker than she could be. Like the ranges on some of the abilities could be a little bit further, I suppose. But still very strong character. There is no doubt about it. And some teams that introduce her first of all are probably going to be the ones with the success. I'm sure that's what Raucus is thinking over there as the coaching staff now with Sentinels and really the other teams as well. They're like, look, we saw what OpTic did with Neon at the major, and well, of course, Masters won. Like, no one else was using Neon really. There were, I think there's maybe one other team that was actually kind of using Neon from time to time, but OpTic really were the only team with Victor using Neon to good effect. Of course, now they've kind of nerfed Neon, whether she's viable anymore, that's another question entirely. And the OpTic guys haven't been so happy with that, but you've got to think that with FADE coming in, the team that kind of adapts to using FADE in their agent pool as well as quickly as possible and in their map pool as quickly as possible is probably going to be the team that has the most success over these coming weeks. So I'm sure that's what the teams are thinking about here. And I'll share what TenZ has to say, because he was giving his thoughts really on FADE in general, why he actually thinks that FADE is better than Sova on at least a lot of maps. And he reckons that if Sova was used on plenty of maps before, now you're going to be seeing an awful lot of FADE. And also he was kind of asked the question, are they going to use FADE? And he's kind of saying, well, we're not really sure, but might well be the case. Just happy to be playing on the current patch update, right? So usually Sentinels aren't always the team pushing the meta, beyond the boundaries, right? They're not usually the ones leading the charge, at least these last several months. With Raucus now back there again, they might well be kind of leading the meta here in bringing FADE into play. But I wouldn't be surprised if plenty of other teams have already had this idea.
I like the new character. FADE's pretty strong. I actually think FADE is way better than Sova in my opinion. Especially after the nerf. I think FADE outclasses Sova pretty hard. And any maps that require a raise is just like even more like maybe like a fracture you can play her, or a split, or actually not so much split. I still don't think wall hacks are that great on split because you don't really wallbang anybody. But there's another one I'm thinking of. I can't think of it right now. Raise map. Bind, yes, bind would be fantastic with her.
B main.
Tunnel play FADE. Depends. I'm glad that we don't have to play on the old patch anymore. It's so weird, like playing on the new patch, going to old patch, going to new patch, going to old patch constantly.
So I suppose we'll see what these teams come up with over the next few hours here. Like, of course, we've got some games tonight. Whether we'll see FADE on a few of these games, we'll see. Because I'm sure some of the pros have been trying to make this happen. I'm not sure this is actually still possible in the game, but if it is, then this is one way you could use it here on Split. But it seemed like, kind of, well, as TenZ was saying, maybe not Split could be the greatest map for her, but, maps like Binds, Ascent, maybe like other maps where the kind of wall banging can be very strong. That's it, where FADE could be particularly useful. Right? So we'll see what the pros decide to do. But, I'm sure a lot of these teams are trying to make something happen, right? So maybe 100 Thieves are one of them. Thought this was pretty good, to be fair. Be ready at 6, be at 5:59. So, the content for these teams is kind of funny, to be honest, at times. But yeah, they play a game later on today. We shall see what agents they decide to use, because, as I say, OpTic, they kind of introduced the Neon meta at Masters. That worked to great success. I know that Victor has been pretty frustrated about the nerfs they perceived that she had, right? Like, the increase in, I'm pretty sure it's the decay in her running ability, really, that has been considered to be pretty much the key nerf that, she has had over the last few weeks here. So we'll see if that works out, of course. This, of course, 100 Thieves thought was kind of funny, actually. They did us dirty with our names. So I'm guessing, what Riot do is they give them, accounts and stuff and the names of the accounts. So Stella and Asuna have their names properly. Will FPS is what he goes as. And then we've got Bang NA. And then Derek doesn't even have 100 Thieves in front of his name. So yeah, I think he says in the reply, enjoy my time at 100 Thieves. Thanks for the opportunity. But yeah, thanks to Zach for pointing this out to me. But yeah, pretty funny stuff, to be honest. But they do play later on today. And even as Stella says, sorry to all the fans, but be able to play tomorrow, knowing that Young Thug is facing jail time. But, I imagine he's still going to be cracking on and playing his game. And then, they play up against the guard. Guard, and the Guard are getting ready to go as well with the pre-match team dinner. Thought it was kind of funny here, like, well, Trent especially has got the hands under the table as if he's got the controller or something. You know, this guy's already ready to play at any moment of the game. But just before we discuss the matches, wanted to mention this for Willminder here, the top 3 rated duelists from stage 1. So, like, well, they were the follows. Leaf, of course, on Cloud9. Like, it seems it's been quite some time, really, since we've seen Cloud9 play, because we saw them, well, the last time, I guess, in those online games, well, to qualify the playoffs, I suppose, North American playoffs, to qualify for Masters, failed to do so, but because Leaf and Cryosels both, on, well, Cloud9 and Except respectively, both came top 4 at that event at the playoffs, therefore they automatically qualified for stage 2, therefore we didn't get to see them in the open qualifiers. And of course, OpTic we've seen more recently at the Masters event itself, but the teams we've seen really recently are, of course, all the ones that just qualified. Yeah, 3 players from 3 of the top 4 teams here. Victor was kind of the other, well, duelist at least from stage 2 that was doing rather well, but he's been really relatively versatile as well the past few weeks. And these are the games today. So the time zones, like, well, for me, like, make this look kind of dodgy, but effectively the way this works is it's 9 p.m. my time, 4 p.m. Eastern time in the US, and then I guess this will be 7 p.m. Eastern time, but it works out to be midnight my time, which is why it looks like Saturday. But these are the 2 games of tonight. The Guard versus 100 Thieves, Luminosity Sentinels. Both of these have potential to be absolute bangers, I think. Just wanted to mention quickly as well what's going on in EMEA. These are the games of today into our BBL and RV, and then the kind of OG London United squad playing up against the new Ascend team. So definitely some interesting games going on over there. And of course, Liquid, with the whole Jampii situation, they play up against Big tomorrow. And just to finish off this clip with, well, 100 Thieves, of course, as well, they play a pretty big game tonight against the Guard. I'm very excited for that one. But very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit on the like button, tell your YouTube gods this is a good video, and as like you should see it as well, and I've grown the competitive Valorant community. Thank you as always, take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.